So, Candace Against the Universe, the new Phineas and Ferb Disney Plus. I believe it's a movie, or it might just be like a special or whatever. But it has a teaser out. Not really any footage worth talking about, but it releases August 28th. So my quest to go through everything Phineas and Ferb. I must complete this quest and review every single season as I go through them on Disney Plus. And yes, my hair is a mess, but I like it that way. I think it makes me more suave. Whatever. Point is, if you want to see my reviews for Phineas and Ferb, Across the Second Dimension, I already reviewed that movie on my second channel, Chan's Random Vlogs. Check that out. I reviewed the Star Wars and Marvel crossovers because, I don't know, I thought it would just be fun to review those. And I'll probably will record a review of Phineas and Ferb Take 2 and get that out too. So, yeah. And when I'm finished, my goal is to finish Phineas and Ferb by the end of this month. And then in the month of August, go through Milo Murphy's Law to prepare for the new movie. Because, you know, that show's crossed over with Phineas and Ferb. And I'm not sure whether they're going to be connecting or not. So I'm not sure what's going to go on with that. But I am catching up on everything Phineas and Ferb. So. But also, I just reviewed the movie Paper Towns on my second channel, so you can check that out too. And I'm probably not exactly sure yet if I will be, but stay tuned on my second channel. I might do a video talking about this. So, I got a lot going in the works right now. Just keep your eyes peeled. So let's talk about Phineas and Ferb Season 1. So, I guess some background information on my connection with Phineas and Ferb, I guess. This show, so, you know, Disney, back in like 2008 when this show came out, I can't believe it's like that long ago, right? Phineas and Ferb is like 12 years ago now. It's past a decade. Insane, but this show is incredible. It was an incredibly big hit. I used to have soundtracks. I don't own them anymore. They were all scratched because I did not take very good care of my CDs because I was really young when that show came out. And yeah, it was reran on Disney Channel all the time, so I remember watching marathons of the show. So I pretty much have seen every single episode before this. I've seen them all. I may not remember them all specifically or everything about them, but they are... I definitely have seen them all before. I remember watching the movie when it premiered. I watched everything Phineas and Ferb. I loved the series. You know, this was long before like Gravity Falls and other things were coming on. You know, Disney didn't really have that many cartoons in the early 2000s. They didn't like to run series. They used to be like Nickelodeon is now, where they just like all they had was live action shows and the cartoons got treated poorly. But now they have a lot more series, right? They got Big City Greens running. They got Milo Murphy's Law. They had Star, but that ended a while ago. But they have the Owl House, Amphibia, blah blah blah. But they have Big Hero 6 the series. They have all these different shows now running, and I believe Tangled the series is now running too, or has been running. But you know, they have a lot of shows that they run, and they're making more. And they got DuckTales 2017, the reboot. You know, they got all that stuff running. And all those shows are pretty high quality for the most part. May not love all of them. I definitely do not like the DuckTales reboot as much as some people do. But if we're talking about like the most successful show on Disney Channel, it was Phineas and Ferb. right? Kim Possible was pretty successful. They got a few movies, and they got a live action movie just recently, but this thing did not sell as many. That show did not sell as much merchandise as this Phineas and Ferb did. As much, like everyday people are aware of this show and have watched it. Appeal. They've had shows at Disney parks and things like that. They are huge. Like, it's unbelievable how big Phineas and Ferb is. And this first season is definitely the weakest season of the show. First of all, it's the shortest season. There's only 26 episodes in this season, which not necessarily a bad thing, but for talking about the context of the show, every season has gone on longer than this, so it's clear that the writers were still getting through their, their style of writing. Right, they're still getting familiar with how to write the characters because it's the first time they're doing it. So there are some jokes in the earlier episodes in the season where, like, you'll have an episode with Buford where he acts a little out of character, or certain lines with Baljeet or Isabella or Phineas. In fact, Isabella's crush isn't really full on mentioned till like towards the end of the season. It's it's kind of hinted at, but not enough to where you would even be aware of it. And, that was like one of her big character traits through the series, right? So they're still getting familiar with writing these characters. Also, this season focuses the most on Phineas and Ferb's inventions. And anybody will tell you Phineas and Ferb is a very formulaic show, to the show's detriment at points, but for the most part, it's fine. They make a lot of fourth wall jokes and things like that about it, and they have a lot of fun with the formula. But the weakest part of that formula is the Phineas and Ferb inventions, because it's the most tropey, and they don't tend to do much new or original with it, and it kind of gets boring after a while. And so this is the season that focuses the most on it. So it's the hardest to go back to, because the show becomes later on when it actually goes into swing. There are still great episodes in the season, like, dude, we're getting the band back together, or that Phineas and Ferb gets busted, that like episode where where they actually get busted for real, and then you realize it's like a dream, which I think everybody loves that episode. But there's still lots of great humor and stuff and great jokes, but just the amount of it is lower than the other seasons, just because of the writers still filling out what they can do and how to write the show and things like that. And also just, focusing on Phineas and Ferb's inventions, which will always be a part of the show. And they're not a horrible part of the show. Like, it's still a good show, but later on, I think the writers realize, okay, you know what? These side characters are a lot better than these characters, right? Because Phineas and Ferb don't really have much of a character. They don't have that much of any real appeal in the context of the show. It's really Doofenshmirtz and Perry that people love, and then you got some other side characters in there that people love, and they learned to focus on that stuff more and more as the show went on. Also, there's less world building, because people don't realize this, but honestly, Phineas and Ferb has a huge universe and cast of characters, and they really expand on it in season 2. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But season 1, it's like a B-, okay, to like Phineas and Ferb's A- or A+. So, it's good. It's just not quite on that same level as the other seasons. Of course, I'm not actually giving it a grade, because I do not give things a grade. I made a video about why, and but I still think the show is still entertaining. And again, there's some A+ episodes in this season, like 10 out of 10 phenomenal episodes that should definitely be watched. Like, Dude, We're Getting the Band Back Together is one of the best episodes of the series. Some of the best songs of the entire show.